That's all they do. Is we just brought in a professional hacker to go through our system to see if it would break, and he couldn't get in for 5 days. So now they're comfortable. But my problem is, if I need updated information right away, I may have to wait 3 hours.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I sent him the same email like 6 times in a row while we were on the phone.
It was true, and I got all the other, I got the other stuff, but I didn't get the certain one right.
Oh, geez. Joyce, we're recording now for CRC?
Yep.
Okay. All righty. All right. Hello, everyone. Again, I'd like to call to order the audit committee meeting for the CRC. Rose, roll call.
Diane Einen,
Here.
Faye Storms is absent, and Michael Ham.
Here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. I want to refer you to page 3 of our packet and take a few moments to look at the minutes from our January 26, 2022 meeting. And then I'll need a motion to approve these minutes.
Chair, I'll make the motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Public comment on agenda items only? No? Okay. We have no old business. And then our new business is to review the 2021 audit financial statements put together for us by UHY. And I'll invite Matt once again to give us an overview of the statements that they were prepared for us.
Okay, Diane, thank you. So I'm going to go through the financial statements and hit the highlights and report any findings that we have. I have the reference to I just want to make sure on the page numbers. What do you prefer that I use for reference when I talk?
No, you're good, Matt. I'm up to speed. You're good.
Okay.
So just keep with what you got going on. That's fine.
Okay. Okay, so I want to start out just overall, just on the highlights. I mean, it's, as far as the CRC this year, I mean, there wasn't significant activity. It was more of just a year that the CRC continued to kind of move forward. There were no new projects in particular that we had to look at. So it was a pretty quiet year on that front. The audit opinion which was on page 8 and through 10 of your packet, indicates that we had a unmodified opinion, a clean audit, no control findings. And we also, when you look at the document that's behind the financial statements, which is a required communication letter, indicates that there's no adjustments, no disagreements with management. The audit went well. So again, I want to thank Rose for being prepared and working with us to have an efficient audit and making sure we're on time for today's meeting. So the financial statements are in good shape. The only piece that's open right now is just finalizing for the Paris reporting. We have a supplemental schedule in the back that rolls forward the bond payments or bond activity that you disclose that you've dealt with in the past. And we're just making sure Rose collects the information for us to take a look at in that supplemental schedule. Otherwise, everything's good as far as where we are with the audit process and finishing up. If you look at, just go to the right page here. It's page 12 of the packet. This just gives you just really an overview of just where you are. If you compare 19 through 21, this is the MD&A, management discussion and analysis. This just shows you from an asset perspective, you're steady, and this year you're at $507,000. You were at $605,000 last year of assets. I mean, really the only major activity is that you continued your grant program for the PPE COVID related. I think you paid out $84,000 this year. That's why the assets went down. And when you look at your expenses and why they went from $50,000 to $106,000, it's because of the fact that you made the decision to pay out those grants. So that being said, that's really the only significant activity that you'll see when you go to page Again, just trying to make sure I got the page numbers right. Page 15 of your packet. You're going to see exactly what I just indicated. You have certain administrative fees that you charge for administering the program. And then you have your other expenses were in line. I think your expenses for administration bumped up a little bit. These are payments to the IDA, I think because of increased effort that's been needed to kind of make sure that you're monitoring compliance. That's something that we saw a little bit of an uptick on expenses. And then you have your grants, like I said previously. You had authorized about $100,000 of grants, which you paid over the last 2 years. And that's why when you look at the statement of cash flows on page 16, you'll see a decrease in your operating cash of $100,000. And that's why we see the $100,000 change on your balance sheet for a use of cash this past year.
Matt, I'm sorry, I just wanted to clarify. Can you also touch on how we discussed the People's Place and which year we put that in and why?
Oh, yeah. So sorry, I'm scrolling on my screen back here. There's a subsequent event footnote, which is on page 18 of 25. And we read in the minutes at the end of the year in December that you had authorized a grant to a nonprofit, People's Place, for $110,000. So one of the questions I had and my team had when we looked at that is, well, should you record that in as a liability at the end of 2021? Because you had authorized it. Well, when we looked at the documents and Rose provided those to us, the actual grant or the documentation to support it was not signed and made final until 2022. So as a result, it's not a 2021 transaction. However, we did disclose it as a subsequent event. So it's important to keep in mind while I talk about your assets of $500,000, you also awarded $110,000 subsequent to year end. So that's going to bring your assets just for that one transaction down $100,000. So that's just something to keep in mind. That was something that was decided at the end of December. So that was actually a transaction that we did look at carefully just to make sure you didn't miss something.
Thank you.
But that's important. I mean, when you make decisions at the board level, we read the minutes to see if we find anything in there that should trigger an accounting for it. And in this case, this could easily be something that you had approved and you had someone sign it in December. And if for some reason that wasn't picked up, that would have been a control finding from an audit perspective. But because you did it correctly, there is no control finding and it's a subsequent event. So it's key when you get big transactions or things around the year end that you really think hard about making sure you got the right accounting for it. And we're always available for any questions if you have something like that.
Great.
I think that was really what I wanted to cover on the CRC. There's talked about it in the last meeting. We also have a required communication report, which is behind the financial statements. It's I think it's like 2 or 3 pages, page 21. I'm sorry, not 21. Sorry, just trying to get to the right page. It's on, actually, I don't know if I see it in the packet, Rose.
Which thing are you looking for? I'm sorry.
Just the required communication letter.
You know what? I forgot to throw that into the audit packet. It's in the board packet.
Oh, okay. Well, all it says is that if we have a problem or have issues with carrying out the audit, we write in this letter what those are. And if we have adjustments, we have difficulties, control, we put it in the letter. But since we had none of that, there's nothing in the letter. It's pretty standard boilerplate. In a previous conversation, though, on the IDA side, we talked about a new auditing standard and we talked about significant risks. This letter also includes the same 2 significant risks, which is management override and revenue recognition.
Right.
We had no issues in any of those areas of risk. It's not a risk specific to you. It's a risk that's required. These are risks that are required under auditing standards.
Right. Okay.
So I think that completes my review.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Mike, any questions?
No questions, Chair.
Neither do I. Joe, anything to weigh in on?
Same comments as in the IDA meeting, Diane. No legal issues raised, clean audit, good work by everyone. So council has no comments. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, Chair. Good to see you. Oh, you're muted, Jimmy.
Some people would prefer that.
I know you're just jumping on, but we were just wrapping up the CRC audit financial statements from UHY. Anything from your end, Jim?
No,
No.
we don't do a tremendous amount, and we're very transparent, so it's pretty much garbage in, garbage out, I would guess, right?
Don't say that.
All right. Again, thank you so much, Matt. This is tremendous work and very
Welcome.
helpful. And thanks to Rose as well. I know you two work really close and in tandem to get these documents pulled together, which is no easy feat. So I thank both of you. I think also at this point, we also need to approve, the audit committee needs to approve the audited financial statements as presented today from UHY. So can I have a motion to do so?
Chair, I'll make that motion to accept.
I second. On favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. All right. Also like a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Chair, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Matt.